Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, welcome to another market open stream. There is the market bell. Unfortunately, the U.S. market is opening up in the red. It's pulling Bitcoin and crypto down as well. But what's going on with this crypto auditor or auditor, Mazars, all of a sudden quits on Binance, Crypto.com, and Kucoin? What's that about? Should we be concerned? And what else is going on in the world of crypto? Let's discuss. So, good morning, guys. Welcome. You can see Bitcoin, unfortunately, is being pulled down this morning. Still clinging on to 17,000, but we were a little bit higher last night. But the U.S. market opened. We are negative 200. Yesterday was an absolute disaster. Minus 800 for Dow, right? Today, can we flip things above? Again, what's the narrative? When things go down, yeah, it's recession fears. So there's still a lot, supposedly, recession fears as we head into the last few weeks of December and heading into 2023. So I guess that is still a thing. But overall, I do think that better days are coming. But you know what? Yesterday, today, looking not so good. However, we may be flipping above today. We'll see. But you know what? Let's talk about this. Because this was on front page. It's the number one trending news on CNBC right now, right? So this is kind of how the young folks would like to say sus. This is kind of sus. So the group that was tasked to look at the proof of reserves for the major exchanges out there, including Binance, Crypto.com, and Kucoin, Mazars Group, suspended all work, and then all the documents that they produced saying that, yeah, they audited, the proof of reserves is good. All these exchanges are either one-to-one or over-collateralized, right? They removed all those reports. They just suddenly removed them, so you can't access them anymore. And then they're quiet on Twitter. They didn't explain why. All of a sudden, they're like, no, we're gone. Right? So, out of all the times, right, this is probably the worst time for this to be happening because there's a lot of fear right now, a lot of FUD being spread, especially on Binance right now. But just weeks before it was KuCoin.com, and weeks before that, it was KuCoin, right? So, this could not have come at a worse time. But here's why I think they did it, okay? I saw this headline too. And I'm pretty sure this is the reason why. FTX, their previous auditors, right, is now facing some scrutiny. Auditors that supposedly audited FTX balance sheet, they're being sued and being looked at by the regulators. So I'm assuming that this group, Mazars, is probably fearing the same thing. Fearing that maybe in the future, if something happens with one of these three exchanges, we're going to be held liable, and we don't want to be held liable. So that's probably why they pulled out. But they should have thought about this ahead of time, right? If you knew that you were going to get some scrutiny over this, you should have never agreed to do the work in the first place. And I will say this, Brian Armstrong also pointed this out, right? Saying that Coinbase, right, is being audited by one of the top 4 accounting firms. I think it's Deloitte right now, okay? So Brian Armstrong's like, yeah, you know what? While all these other exchanges are being audited by someone overseas that we don't quite know who they are, we are being looked at by the top 4, big accounting firms, right? So you got to give Brian Armstrong and Coinbase that, right? So they decided to make the right decision. And I do think all these exchanges, especially Binance right now, needs to hire one of these big 4 auditing firms. They need to pay some big bucks to reassure people that the assets are there, the reserves are there, it's one-to-one, right? Or over collateralized, and there is no concern whatsoever, because this is not a good look. It's not, especially now when there's so much fear with exchange reserves and assets and stuff like that. And I did take a look at Binance once again. Their asset is still massive, 56, 57 billion. But I will say this is like 3 billion less than even just last night, because I was just showing this. So definitely a lot of people right now withdrawing from Binance. They are very scared. And I'm sure if I was tracking Kucoin and Crypto.com, it probably will show the same thing, that there's a lot of withdrawals, right? So definitely a lot of fear right now. But I've been telling you guys, if you don't trust the exchanges, doesn't matter who they are, either Binance or Coinbase or anyone else, right? Safeguard your own crypto, get a self-custody wallet, and manage your own crypto, right? Learn how to do that so you don't have to worry about any of this nonsense or FUD that's being spread around, right? So be careful with your own funds. But yeah, this whole situation, this is just like real sus right now, okay? As the young kids would like to call it. All right, outside of this, what else is going on? Well, SBF filing another bail application. You know, I showed you guys what the jail cell looks like, or the prison in the Bahamas, and there's only one, and it's not a place anyone wants to be in. It looks like a hellhole. So of course SBF is trying to get out of there. Right now he's still in I guess quarantine, in a health protocol where he's still staying, you know, out of Gen Pop. But when he gets in there, he's supposed to be released to Gen Pop like tomorrow. It's not going to be a fun ride. So we'll see what happens here. Most likely he's going to be denied bail, just like the first judge. And plus, the Bahamas wants to set example of him now, right? Because they took a big black eye because how involved SBF was with the authorities, with real estate, with everything. So most likely they're not going to give him bail. But Bernie Madoff's lawyer said that, yeah, SBF is going to face many, many years in prison. Each count of fraud that he's facing gets a maximum of 20 years. And if you add them all together, we're talking about multiple lifetime sentences. So that may be coming soon for SBF. But, you know, here's the thing. This is all only concentrated on SBF. What happened to Caroline? What happened to Gary and Nishad, right? The two other major executives, or the top guys at FTX, right? So it almost feels unfair that SBF is the only one taking blame, right? The only one that's being questioned right now. What happened to everyone else? Is there still a arrest warrant for them? I don't know. I don't hear anything about trying to get the other guys who may have fled already to Dubai or wherever they were going. All right. So there's that. Japan is easing their 30% crypto tax on paper profits. So this is actually like tax on unrealized gains. I didn't know that. Japan is forcing corporations to basically pay a tax even though they don't sell it. So that's really unfair, right? And of course, you would think that a lot of Japanese firms would not want to buy crypto because of this. Well, they're set to ease this. So if they get rid of it or decrease it, definitely be big to draw in more companies, more institutions into the space. So that would be good. And hopefully we never see something like that in the U.S. again, because there's a lot of rumors about how, you know, there may be change in a tax code to tax unrealized gains, which I think is just absolutely horrible if that happens. Core Scientific, their stock price doubles because they found some financing. So they may be saved. They may not be going under, which is good because they're one of the major crypto miners out there. Although they already sold all their Bitcoin, so there's like nothing else they could dump. But they could have contributed back in May because that's when they started having problems, and that's when they started selling off their Bitcoin. So in May and June, we had a lot of things go on at the same time. Obviously, Luna collapsed, Celsius collapsed, right? Voyager collapsed, and also Core Scientific collapsed. And they may have been under the radar because they had a ton of Bitcoin. So they could have been the biggest driver of our down movement, or at least contributed in a major way. But it does seem like they found some financing for someone, and that's good. That's good. What else is going on? Huobi came out with a 2022 crypto industry report. So what are the major things that happened in 2022? NFT becomes the most discussed crypto term worldwide. Okay, if they have statistics to back that up, I don't know about that. Maybe Bitcoin is the most discussed crypto term, but I don't know. Out of cryptocurrency, DeFi, GameFi, NFT, BTC, NFT is the biggest and most discussed. Okay. The United States dominates centralized exchange usage and industry development. Okay, we'll take that. Asia is on top for heated interest in NFTs. Again, NFTs. Mostly from Hong Kong, I would say. Right? A lot of Animoca brands, I think, is operating, or either Hong Kong or Singapore. But okay, we'll take that. GameFi and Metaverse dominates investments. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe. There was a ton of money going to metaverses. A lot of brands try to jump into metaverses. And I think the same thing with GameFi. And again, Animoca is kind of in the space. So, okay. Over 100 regulations have been issued for the crypto industry. Well, that seems light. That seems low. It seems like worldwide there would be a lot more, right? But there'll probably be more coming, for sure. For sure. All right, and then the last few things. What else is there? This is not crypto news, but I know you guys love Elon. So Elon just suspended all these accounts, and people are questioning whether or not he's serious about that free speech narrative that he's been pushing, right? So first, Elon suspends the guy who's been tracking his private jet. He's been trying to work with the guy for a long time, trying to get him to stop, try to even bribe him to pay him, right? And the guy's like, no. So he all of a sudden suspended his account. And then he suspended like 6 other reporters that reported that guy or wrote a story about that guy, who also had a link to his page, which happened to have the link to the private jet tracker, right? And they were all suspended. And then Elon had Twitter spaces about this, and some of them actually got back in through some back hole or loophole or something and asked Elon directly what's going on. And basically he said, if you dox me, if you somehow report anything about me or my family, right, you get suspended, end the story. That's it. It has nothing to do with if you're a journalist or not, right? So all of a sudden, we did get a lot of people just suspended. And this is spurred from the fact that recently Elon said that someone tracked a car that was carrying his son, thinking that he was in that car. So it got him spoofed about the safety of his family. So that's the reason why he's doing it. So I could see that. I could see no one wants their family in harm's way, right? So I could see that. But a lot of people are questioning, well, you're now banning a lot of these reporters off Twitter. So this whole thing about free speech, what's going on with that? So that's the latest news. I don't know what to think of it. I had that situation happen to me too. A lot of you guys know I was building my house and someone showed up and that got me all spooked. So I could see where Elon's coming from. So he's in a conundrum, that's for sure. All right, that is pretty much it. The U.S. market kind of hanging in there, not getting worse. NASDAQ is about even. So can we see that? Can we see that green today? Hopefully. Look at this. See, Kevin O'Leary just will not give up. Former FTX spokesperson Kevin O'Leary defends endorsement of Bankman-Fried's crypto firm. Did he say something else? I guess he did again. Sorkin asked, Kevin, are you an actor in this drama? And you had a front seat to SBF up until the very end. What do you think happened? Do you think this was a fraud? I don't have facts. The new CTO, John Ray, doesn't have them yet. He's going to get them. I'm looking through my records. I'm willing to fund a forensic account of our accounts. There's a lot of bad things that have been alleged here, and a lot of them are going to be true, likely. I understand the hurt is angry. Did that conversation coincide with the $15 million you got from FTX? Kernan asked. Well, Larry said no. Kernan is ruthless. The point, okay. Yeah, I don't know. He's still defending SBF. Defending SBF, pointing fingers at everyone else except SBF. I don't quite get it. I don't. All right, let's do some Q&A. All right, let me scroll up here. Hi, George. I'm watching from Malaysia. Welcome. Welcome. Good morning, Cannonball. Let's see. VI Joker says, Coinbase and Binance should join forces and be stronger together. I think they can do that up to a point, right? But they're still competitors. But I definitely think they can work together to have some, some guidelines about how they do accounting or how they do proof of reserves and stuff like that. So I can see that, but they're still in competition with each other. Johnny Wisdom says, I feel sorry for SBF. I genuinely don't think he set out to defraud anyone. I mean, no one ever sets out to really defraud anyone, I don't think. I don't think even Bernie set out to defraud everyone. It's just that circumstances forces people to make hard choices, and sometimes they make the wrong choice, and then they go down that path, and it's just too late to turn around, right? So when... let me silence this. But, when he discovered, right, or maybe... I don't know when he discovered, but, when he found out that Alameda had a huge hole, right, he could have stopped it. He could have declared bankruptcy there and then, right? And then they would have just gone under, but then no fraud. But the fact that he and Caroline and everyone else tried to plug that hole by using customer assets, right, that's where he made a hard choice, and he crossed the line, and he broke laws and rules, and that's where we are now, right? So there's always a choice. I don't think anyone sets out to create something to defraud people, but circumstances causes people to. All right, let me see here. He had a whole interview on CNBC this morning. Yeah, probably the one that CNBC just posted about how he's still, I'm talking about Kevin O'Leary, still trying to defend SBF. Why does Binance need to go under? No one said Binance needed to go under. I think a lot of people are somehow rooting for it now, right? Like they think, you know, if Binance goes under and everyone goes under, it's going to be good for the industry. I don't think they realize the consequences of it. And plus, you don't want the good companies to go under. There's a lot of good companies out there. But unfortunately, you have a lot of people, for whatever reason, that wants to spread FUD and try to bring everything down, right? Kind of like the Joker just wants the world to burn, right? And it helps no one. And, you know, the best thing we could do right now is to stand together, stay strong, right? If there's bad, weed out the bad. But if there's good, support the good and move forward. LWJ says, I'm quite worried if Binance goes under, but a lot of people are saying that the bear market won't end until this happens. Yeah, I think those guys are idiots. That's what I think. Is Flow a good hold? Yeah, I think it's a good hold. They're doing a lot. A lot of NFT projects are on top of Flow. So I think they're a good hold. SBF and Kevin O'Leary are just a bad virus that's contagious. I believe the virus will die away and good things will return. Yep. Any chance SBF will appear on Shark Tank and make a deal with Kevin O'Leary? I think that already happened behind the doors. Whatever he has on him. I don't know. I don't know what it is. What's going on, Cardano? Not much. A lot of people tuned in when Charles Hoskinson said there will be a settlement yesterday. Obviously, it didn't happen. So, I don't know. I actually don't know what's going on with the case, and I don't know anything. I think Cardano's trying to launch their stablecoin. I think that's the big development. Or at least Emergo is trying to do that. They're working on that. I think that's the next big thing for them. Okay, I talked about that yesterday. He just said that basically most people don't recognize how important it is to safeguard their private key or the recovery phrase in this case. And a lot of people, you know, write it down, they lose it, other people see it. I understand what he's saying, but I feel like he was wrong in saying that it's more about education, right? If you educate people how to safeguard their own private key, then it's fine. But he was making the fact that a lot of people have died, not passing it on, right? Not safeguarding their hard drive crashes, you know, stuff like that. It does happen. It does happen. And this statistics may show that what he said was correct, but I do think everyone should take the time to learn and safeguard their own crypto. Daryl, appreciate it. T-Logic. I'm glad that the comment is hidden. I'm not going to repeat it. Long clothing. I don't know. Can't tell you fully, but projects that deemed securities are no good. A lot of regulations, a lot of auditing, a lot of like paperwork, a lot of stuff that crypto projects do not want to go through. So, yeah. A lot of them will get shut down too. Christopher, yes, he said it's a rumor. Yeah, he did. What do you think about CZ's comment about forgetting 580 million FTT? I don't doubt that. CZ is not that entrenched with operations anymore. He's more like a chairman spokesperson these days, right? So he says the same thing about Luna. He lost however many billions, like 3 billion or something in Luna. The same thing in FTT. It's like Binance has made so many investments over the years. I doubt he sits there every single day looking at every single investment they have made and how much they're worth, right? So I could see that. Thoughts on ability to trade on Binance without coins leaving your ledger? Well, Ledger Live just integrated. Ledger Live first of all, has swaps, right? And they also just partnered up with Binance so that you can trade directly and not have your coins leave your ledger. So, or it does, but then it just comes right back in, right? So this seems to be a pretty good interim solution, right? But ultimately, if you want to trade and you don't want to touch the centralized exchanges, you just have to do swaps on the DEXs, like the Uniswaps and Pancake Swaps of the world, right? People are saying they think I'm shirtless. No, I'm just wearing a pink shirt. That's all. I don't quite understand the difference between Ethereum and stuff like BAT. Bry Guy. Hey, they're two different projects. BAT is on top of Ethereum, but BAT is a browser. What I'm showing right now is on the Brave browser, and they have a digital advertising system that kind of goes against Google AdWords. So they use BAT for that purpose, and also you could use it for tipping too. So one is really thought of as a DApp, and one is the network below it. Trust Wallet doesn't support Flow. Instead, they have Wrap Flow. Can I buy somewhere else and transfer Trust? No, because Trust Wallet Flow has their own chain. That's why they have Wrap Flow, because they support ERC20 tokens. But Flow has their own chain, and unfortunately, they're not supported right now. So you'll have to use their native wallet. Lucas, I don't think much about Filecoin or storage. If you're going to go with a storage provider, I would say Arweave is the best. Do you think Gemini Exchange is in trouble? I don't think so. They took some heat because of their involvement with Gemini or Genesis. But me personally, I don't think they put any money into Genesis. So if not, then they should be okay. But of course, they took a black eye because a lot of people that used Gemini Earn now has their crypto frozen within Genesis. So they say they're trying to work with Genesis to try to get that back. I don't know if they're going to be successful with that. Well, Bitcoin is holding at 17. Let's see it hold. Oh, by the way, I didn't show this. This was just brought to my attention. So unfortunately, more bad news about Solana. It appears that an account on Solana is draining multiple liquidity pools on Radium. The account has received thousands of SOL in the last few minutes. We would advise withdrawing any liquidity on Radium until further notice. So it looks like there seems to be a wallet that's draining liquidity pool from Radium using admin wallet as a signer without having burn LP tokens. So it appears some hacker somehow gain access or spoofing the system to think it's an admin, and it's draining a whole bunch of stuff from Radium, which is one of the main DeFi projects on Solana. So unfortunately, that's also happening right now. That's not good. Solana can't seem to catch a break. Salomondo says they already fixed it. Well, that's good. Let's see. Current major balance include 1 million SOL, $1 million worth of SOL. It's 6-figure SLP. The account could be there. Okay, well, the damage is minimal. If it's $1 million worth of SOL and 6 figures of SLP, pretty small hack. But again, not a good look. Does metaverse projects need realistic graphics rather than pixelated for adoption in the next cycle? If so, which ones will prosper? I don't think so, Deep Random Thinker. I think you're thinking that it has to, but no, just look at Roblox. Look at Minecraft. Look at how successful those two games are. And they're very pixelated, okay? You know, as long as you could create a fun game, that's all that matters. There's a lot of games with crazy graphics, but no one plays them. So you just have to figure out how to create a really enticing system to keep people playing, rewarding them. And then as people, jump in, utilizing the resources or the profits they make to make better versions, and go from there. I mean, getting a viral game going is beyond hard. There's so many games, and very little stays up. So, to be able to have a game that could be sustained for years or decades is amazing. Casual gamers are clueless about NFTs and P2E. That's the thing. I had so many arguments before with people that were gamers back in 2021. And I'm like, it's a natural evolution. Games will move to from the free to play model to free to earn model, right? Game makers are incorporating tokens and NFTs to reward players. It's a natural evolution. And then I had all these gamers fight me on it, saying, no, we don't want NFTs, we don't want this and that. I'm like, why? You're going from a model where you're paying to play to where you're getting paid to play. You could turn your passion, you could turn your gaming into a money-making machine. Kind of like how Axie is for so many in Asia, right? Why would you not want it to be like that? And a lot of gamers would just argue, well, first of all, they got mad because all the miners bought all the GPUs, right? And then second of all, they're like, well, it's just a cash grab and stuff like that. Well, sure, everything's a cash grab, right? But why not be part of it and earn while you're playing? And think about tournaments and stuff like that. You get rewarded some special NFT like your weapon or whatever, your armor, you know, they're limited edition, they'll be very valuable. Why would you not want to move in that direction? But it's just a matter of time. Pavia Metaverse had a successful game launch. They're on Cardano, right? It's been a while since I heard about them. How big do you think Polygon could go? I mean, Polygon rides the coattail of Ethereum, and they're doing it in a good way. As high as Ethereum goes, they could go too. Fortnite is the closest thing to a metaverse that we have at the moment. No, I don't agree with that. Minecraft is creating your own metaverse, and so is Roblox. They're more meant for kids, but yeah, you could create virtual worlds with them very easily. I don't know if anyone plays Second Life anymore. I think that game's dead, right? But there's a lot of game makers trying to create like a second, you know, Earth or second whatever. Some argues that our life right now, we're in a metaverse. That we're living in a simulation and we just don't know. Maybe everyone on this chat right now, maybe you're all simulations and the world just revolves around me. All right, guys. Overall, we got a little more fear today. A little more fear, a little more finger deflecting from Kevin O'Leary. The U.S. market just not looking good. Does not want to turn around. But this could not have come at a worse time. The auditor for Binance, Crypto.com, and Kucoin decided to just call it quits. Right? Very, very sus. So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. But I definitely think these exchanges need to get real serious about auditing. Hire the big four firms like Coinbase, right? Get on top of it. Doesn't matter how much money you have to spend. Get on top of it, right? Stop using these small auditors that no one knows about, right? But in the meantime, safeguard your own crypto. Learn how to use a ledger, Trust Wallet, you know, MetaMask, anything that gives you the ability to safeguard your own crypto, and you'll be better off for it. Okay? Have a good one, guys. Enjoy your Friday, and I'm going to see you guys tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one. Bye-bye.